Stacey Abrams claimed that increased voting turnout has nothing to do with voter suppression. She has got to be one of the dumbest people to ever run for public office. I mean, oh my gosh. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's a link to my merch store. And there's also a link to my mental health coaching. All right, let's talk about this news. Democratic Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams claimed on Monday that votes could still be suppressed in the Peach State despite high early voting turnout for the primary election. On Tuesday, Fox News flagged an interview Abrams gave to MSNBC Joy Reid Monday night when she said there was, quote, no correlation between voter suppression and turnout. What? What is she saying? Like these are two things on opposite sides of the spectrum. What do you mean there's no correlation? If these voters are being suppressed, they will not be a high turnout. I mean, come on, that's simple. Let's go on to what she says. She says, quote, there's no correlation there, Abrams told Reid after the MSNBC host claimed that Republicans were pushing a new big lie by saying this is what they do. Everything Republicans say, they call it a big lie. But anyway, pushing a new big lie by saying that the 2021 Georgia election integrity law, which required voter ID among other measures, did not hamper people's ability to vote. I mean, it's been studies. I think it was Harvard that did a study that showed that voter ID does not suppress votes. I mean, so are you telling me you don't believe in science now? But, quote, voter suppression is about blocking or impeding certain types of voters from participating in elections, Abrams continued. Right now, Republicans have the most competitive elections. But what we also don't know is what the mail-in ballot rejection rate, what are the difficulties people are having? Quote, voter suppression is not about stopping voting. It's about impeding certain voters from participating, and those voters, as you point out, are unlikely to be highly active in a primary, Abrams added. What? So hold on. Let's break this. Let me break this down again. She says voter suppression is not about stopping voting. Suppression literally means to stop. So if you're having a voter suppression, you're having a voter stop, which means you're stopping the vote. What is she talking about? Does she not know what voter suppression? Does she not know what suppression means? This shows me how dumb this woman really is. But last Friday, the Daily Wire reported that the Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger office announced Wednesday evening that, quote, more than 565,000 Georgians have voted early, which is 153%. That's right, 153% increase from the same point in the earlier voting period in 2018 primary election, and an 189% increase in the 2020 primary election. That's just crazy astronomical numbers. Quote, it's fantastic. What it shows is that it's never been easier to vote in Georgia, but we have the appropriate guardrails, securities in place, Raffensperger told reporters. Quote, when you have a strong security that elevates people's confidence in the process, so now we have voter ID for all absentee voting. That's awesome. I love that. He goes on to say we have 17 days of early voting, just Thursday and Friday left to go, but we already seeing numbers pushing 200% higher than in 2020. That's crazy. Abrams again said on Tuesday that the high turnout was, quote, causation without correlation, while adding, we know that increased turnout has nothing to do with suppression. So, I mean, so she said that is causation without correlation, but voter ID, it means low vote numbers, but that's but she says is a correlation with that. So it makes this, she's just stupid. She's an idiot. I love it. It's being put on display. Everyone's seeing how dumb she is. But in reaction to Abrams' comments, Jessica Anderson, executive director of Heritage Action, told the Daily Wire that Georgia's law, officially known as SB 202, was evidence that voting reforms can increase confidence in democracy. Quote, Georgia's record turnout and efficient voting procedures have completely debunked the left's lie about voter suppression, she added in an email. By strengthening voter ID requirements, increasing mandatory days of early weekend voting, and preventing interest groups from election interference, Georgia has seen renewed confidence in the state's election procedure and record setting voter turnout. Quote, in contrast, we also have some problems in states like Pennsylvania who have not strengthened their election laws, she continued. After Governor Wolf vetoed legislation to reform a secure Pennsylvania mail-in ballot procedures, there have been issues in counting the ballots, and to this day, we still don't have a final result from that election. And that's just crazy. Quote, it's clear that these election reform efforts work in promoting turnout from all backgrounds by making it easier to vote and harder to cheat, Anderson remarked. And that's not what they want. They want to be able to cheat. That's why they're so upset. That's why they don't want voter law. What person in their right mind don't want to ID someone so they know that that person is who they say they are? Only if you wanting to cheat, you don't want to ID that person. That's the only conclusion you can come up with. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out democrapublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.